Even as the U.S. carrier strike group patrols these tense waters, China's Dayang Yihao keeps shadowing the region, quietly conducting its ocean surveys close to the USS Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea. The nuclear-powered carrier USS Abraham Lincoln moved into the Arabian Sea as Washington ramped up its military presence, underscoring how sharply tensions with Iran have spiked in these strategically vital shipping lanes. Maritime trackers report that since December 19th, the vessel has been methodically surveying stretches of sea west of India, just as the U.S. steadily increased its naval buildup and carrier deployments in the broader region. The group known as SeaLight, a maritime analysis project born out of Stanford University's Gordian Knot Center, specializes in exposing so-called gray zone activity and tracking suspicious ship movements at sea. On this mission, Dayang Yihao is equipped with sophisticated seabed mapping gear and ocean monitoring systems, gathering high-resolution data that can reveal underwater terrain, currents, and other features crucial for naval planning. Its sensors listen for abnormal sounds beneath the waves while the ship stays linked via satellite communications and onboard wireless internet, allowing scientists and planners to share information in almost real time. Open-source intelligence analysts who reviewed the tracking record say the ship's path suggests it operated close to the U.S. carrier group, though the exact distance between them remains unclear from publicly available data. Tracking feeds indicate that from January 27 onward, the Chinese vessel has been working roughly 171 nautical miles off Iran's shoreline, placing it firmly inside a zone where U.S. and Iranian forces closely watch each other. All of this unfolds against the backdrop of Beijing's long-term cooperation pact with Tehran, a deal that has steadily deepened defense ties and opened the door to more extensive naval coordination and presence in nearby waters. In early January 2026, the USS Abraham Lincoln carried out intensive live-fire exercises in the South China Sea, testing its close-in weapons and air wing as part of high-tempo routine combat readiness drills in disputed waters. After these Indo Pacific operations, Washington ordered the Abraham Lincoln Strike Group to pivot from the South China Sea toward the Middle East in late January, rerouting the carrier from its original Pacific mission to reinforce U.S. force posture near Iran. By January 26, the USS Abraham Lincoln had entered U.S. Central Command's area of responsibility, sailing into Middle East waters as tensions with Iran rose sharply and officials stressed that the deployment was meant to bolster deterrence and regional security. In the days that followed, the carrier group pushed north from the wider Arabian Sea toward the approaches of the Strait of Hormuz, maneuvering closer to the narrow choke point through which much of the region's vital oil traffic flows. Regional monitoring outlets and military-linked media then reported the strike group gradually pulling back from near Hormuz, repositioning its ships southwest toward the Gulf of Aden to create distance while staying within rapid striking range. The most recent open reporting places the Abraham Lincoln carrier group off southern Yemen, east of Socotra Island in the Gulf of Aden, roughly 1,400 kilometers from Iran's Chabahar port, signaling a more dispersed but still highly capable posture. As news emerged that Iran, Russia, and China were preparing new joint naval drills, the USS Abraham Lincoln Strike Group adjusted its position in regional waters, subtly repositioning to keep pressure on Tehran while watching the Trilateral exercise zone. Iran has invited Chinese and Russian warships for fresh joint exercises in the northern Indian Ocean in mid to late February, showcasing a three-way show of force and deepening naval cooperation just south of some of the world's busiest sea lanes. The Trilateral Maritime Security Belt exercise, first rolled out by Iran's Navy in 2019, has already run through 7 iterations, steadily evolving into a recurring platform where the three navies practice operating together across contested waters. Earlier editions of the drill have featured everything from joint search and rescue missions and anti-piracy security patrols to complex coordinated maneuvers, including live firing and boarding scenarios that test how seamlessly the three fleets can work side by side. This upcoming round of exercises is scheduled just as tensions between Washington and Tehran spike again, turning the northern Indian Ocean into a crowded stage where U.S. carrier groups and the Iran-Russia-China axis signal strength and probe each other's resolve. On February 3, Washington confirmed that an F-35C stealth fighter launched from a USS Abraham Lincoln shot down an approaching Iranian Shahed 139 drone over the Arabian Sea after it flew toward the carrier with unclear but aggressive intent. U.S. Central Command stressed that no American personnel were injured and no equipment was harmed, emphasizing that the drone was destroyed in self-defense to protect the carrier and its crew as it continued operations in international waters. Iran's Revolutionary Guard dismissed the U.S. account, insisting through Iranian outlets that the Shahed 139 was on a routine and lawful reconnaissance mission, and accusing Washington of overreacting to a drone operating in what Tehran sees as its wider security zone. Reports citing regional and Western officials say the Shahed 139 managed to beam surveillance data back to Iranian systems before it was shot down, meaning Tehran likely retained at least part of the intelligence gathered on the carrier group's position and posture. Soon after the drone incident, Iranian Revolutionary Guard gunboats allegedly harassed a U.S.-flagged oil tanker transiting near the Strait of Hormuz, attempting to intimidate or divert the vessel as it made its way through the narrow shipping corridor. According to U.S. officials, a nearby American destroyer responded to the tanker's distress call, closing in on the scene, broadcasting warnings, and effectively deterring the Iranian boats from boarding or seizing the commercial ship. Even as these confrontations unfold at sea, U.S. and Iranian officials are preparing to meet in Oman for new nuclear talks, hoping to revive or reshape limits on Tehran's atomic program while tempers flare over drones, tankers, and regional clashes. Leaks about the diplomatic track suggest Tehran is pushing to narrow the agenda strictly to nuclear issues, resisting U.S. pressure to fold in its ballistic missile arsenal or support for regional proxy groups that Washington sees as part of the same security problem. At the same time, President Donald Trump has publicly warned that if Iran walks away from negotiations or races toward a bomb, he is prepared to order a Midnight Hammer 2.0 style strike, invoking last year's operation that Washington credits with crippling Tehran's nuclear infrastructure.
On Iran, are the negotiations still happening this week?
Yeah.
Where will they be? And what do you need to hear from Iran?
They're all over, but they are negotiating. They'd like to do something, and we'll see if something is going to be done. They had a chance to do something a while ago, and it didn't work out, and we did Midnight Hammer. I don't think they want that happening again, but they would like to negotiate. We are negotiating with them right now, yes.